We've got a JVC 50-inch. It's obviously Vestel. I say obviously, it may not be obvious to everyone, but anyway, it is a Vestel, and a jolly nice TV, I'm sure it was once upon a time. At the moment it seems to be dead. Got some very interesting information which came from the owner of the TV, or at least the owner's father, who dropped the TV off, which really did help, because sometimes when somebody brings a TV in and says it's completely dead, you think, yeah, well, it's probably just backlights and you just haven't noticed the red or blue light. But he said this TV has always in the past, when you turn it on, the light's red and flashes. When it comes on, it turns blue. And I think that to be correct. The amount of TVs I see, I do get a bit confused. And that made sense. But he said it's been coming on, flashing red for a long time, and then the TV comes on, but there's no blue light there. Now, there is a chance that the blue LED has just failed. There is a chance that the red and blue LED has failed, even though I doubt it. And maybe it is a backlight issue. We'll look at the model number in a second, but as I say, it is a Vestel JVC. So I'm going to plug it in. We will zoom in on the very dirty screen, but I'm not going to spend money on cleaning the screen until I've fixed it. So you'll just have to put up with the fact that the screen is filthy, and it is. Look at it. It really is quite dirty as we zoom in on that. Wow. Incredible. But by the by, we'll see if anything does come on, and also we'll just get this. I always have problems when I start a video, and I thought I'd sorted everything out, but no, this camera is always going to play up. Anyway, I've got the wobbly cam, as I call it, zoomed in here. Well, not zoomed in, but here, which as soon as I plug in, which I'm going to do down here, so it's plugged in now. We're not getting anything. I'm just going to check for a JVC logo, just in case both LEDs have gone. So first of all, I would have thought this could be a power board fault. You'd look at Vestel's diodes. But with the information that he gave, was the fact that this flashes red, then goes blue, and then it stopped doing that, and now it's just not coming on at all, leads me to believe that maybe we've got a software problem here. Maybe we've got a main board issue. I'm one of the few engineers that don't believe in downloading fresh software. If the main board has got corrupted, I'd rather just source a second-hand main board and get it going that way. Only in the past have we reflashed software only for it to come back again 3 months later. So I ain't going to do that. So we'll see how far the power's getting first. Going to take the back off it, then I'll show you the model number. Right. Let's have a look at the model number. I always show the model number. I don't really know if it means anything. Oh, the first thing I find out that it's not technically a 50-inch. It's a 49. Model LT49C870C. With built-in Freeview Play, and the date is October 2016. So, as I speak here, this TV is 6 years old, or 5.5 if you want to be. And so you should be. 6 months means everything. So there's a few screws to go through, and I will be going through a few screws, and we shall take this bracket off, take the screws off, then we'll have a look. We may see something straight away, so bear with. Right, all the screws are out. Took long enough as it did. Interesting to note on these, I have noticed it before, but I don't think I've ever pointed it out. They have an audio input, but they have a socket for a subwoofer out, SW out, well, sub W out, subwoofer out. Because we all know Vestel TVs in particular do not have the greatest sound quality, but you can improve any hi-fi, any TV by adding a subwoofer. And then with your bass and treble on the TV, if you take the bass down, turn the treble up a little bit, plug in a subwoofer, you get a bit more volume, and if it's a decent subwoofer, you get some very good volume. Subwoofers really do change everything. So then your main speakers in here would just act as tweeters, and it would sound pretty good. But I say that, and I've never put that to the test. I've got many subwoofers, but I've never felt the need to. But it's interesting to see. Is the back going to come off straight away if I left some screws in anywhere? It's not coming off straight away. It's letting me believe I've left a screw. Do you know, sometimes you can feel that you've left a screw in. I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. I can't see where I have left one in. Ah, I can. Up here. Not where. Where's my screw pot? Screw pot is over there. Okay, this has got a little toggle switch, but the toggle switch seems to be built in to the back rather than anything else. It's still not really coming off. Ooh, I forced it. I gave it the engineer's jig. So, let's have a look what we're looking at here. IPS 72 for the power supply. Lots of diodes. Wonder if one of them has decided it's time to play up. And 17 MB 130E for the main board with JVC software. So my initial thoughts, I don't know about yours, but my initial thoughts were main board only because of the symptoms that the owner or the owner's father passed on to me about. The blue light was working, then it stopped working, but the TV carried on working, and then no lights at all. It kind of led me to believe that there is a main board issue. So I suppose the first thing I should do is just go straight in and test culprit number 1, which used to be, it's not so much these days. Oh, I didn't. My apologies, I did not show you the screen on this. And it's a VES 49 QNDS 2D N12. This has 7 strips of 7 from memory when it comes to the LEDs in the back. So let's just get this meter on and see if we get anything telling us there's a short anywhere. Okay, so no shorts on the diode. Let's just check a FET here. Little MOSFET. It's absolutely fine. Bridge rectifier is good. I haven't got my goggles on. I'm going to put my goggles on And I'm going to see if there's any black marks around the fuse and capacitor area, and I cannot see anything, Captain. I can't see anything, but I can just zoom in a little bit on this power board. Caps on the backlight circuit all seem to be fine. Sometimes we found those to be a bit irrational. So before I go taking the board off and checking the fuse, I'm going to plug the TV in, and I'm just going to test for some voltages in and around the power board. So we're now on and we're now live. And put the meter into DC mode. Just want to see what sort of outputs we're getting. 12 volts there, which is fine. 12 volts there, which is fine. 5 volts on there, which is great. And 40 volts on there. So I think our power supply is acting as it should. So I'm just going to switch off. Just make sure we're plugged in as neatly as we should. Really does seem to be looking like a main board issue. So I'm just giving them a rattle around just to see if light comes back on, and it doesn't, so it's not that. So my next test, all I'm going to do is disconnect the main board from the power board. Now, unlike Samsung's, this does not bring the backlights on, but I can then switch on. That was interesting. You probably know, you wouldn't have noticed that. When I switch anything on in this workshop, if it's coming on, if it's plugged in and you switch it on, the TV screen, the plasma TV screens flicker. I don't know why, it's just one of those things. Now, when I've been switching this on and off in the past, this has not been flickering. But just by disconnecting the main board, it flickered. So I'm just going to go back and test those voltages, see if there's any change in them whatsoever. That should be 5. It's 5.4. That's fine. This should be, well, it was, yeah, 35. That's the same. And I do believe these were 12. 1102, 1103. So there's absolutely no difference. That's jumping up and down a little bit, but nothing to excite me. So I'm 100% sure that we have a short, we have a problem on our main board. The main board has decided to act up. It could quite simply be firmware issue. I don't know if I've ever known firmware cause problems where you lose the LED completely. So we're coming in there. I don't think there'll be a fuse or anything. There will be 12 volts coming in here from the power supply. And here we can see where it comes in. There's the coil. There's no fuse as such. There's some 0 ohm resistors, but I don't think we're going to be lucky and find a fuse. Sometimes, as I found out with a Vestel the other day, the screen wasn't coming on. The fuse had gone on the screen. just going to plug back in to the power board. Power's not on, but I'm going to plug it back in just to see if any of those readings change. And they don't. So the interesting thing with this, and I really am now beginning to think it is the firmware, it's the software of the TV which just seemed to have gone corrupt completely, is because there are no shorts on the board. The power board is responsible for telling the power board to turn on, and that all seems to be fine. So it's just like the software, which will be in this NAND chip here, has gone completely south. So best thing to do, I don't think I've got a board. I mean, I have got a board for this screen, but it would be for a Panasonic TV, and as much as that's always fun changing the firmware around on TVs, I don't want to start having to give the customer extra reasons why the software has changed. Maybe the apps are different, and also we'll need a different remote control. So I ain't going to do that. I would imagine one of these boards on eBay is going to be, what, 20 quid? Let's have a look at the 23 number and we'll go on eBay and see what we find. Okay, eBay is up. And I'm going to go for the 23 number, which is down here. Now, sadly, I haven't got my camera here. When I say, sorry, I haven't got my phone here. It's great to take a picture with the phone. You can turn it upside down and see what the number is for those people like me that are just unfocused. But it's a 23 number, and it looks like 2351. So let's try that. 2351. Is it going in the search? I cannot see, Captain. No. I've got to take the glasses off to look at eBay and the glasses off to look at the number. 2351. Oh, the woes of being a TV repair chap. 2970. Really? There seems to be more numbers as well. So does that bring up a Vestel board? Brings something up, doesn't it? Yeah, brings up a Vestel board, and there we go. That looks like the one that we want. It does. That's got the correct number. Once you've got the 23 number, you don't have to faff around with anything else. You know that it's for this screen. It will have that software on it. So I'm going to order that up and see if it brings the TV back to life. So this is basically a video on diagnosing. The end part of the diagnosis is how do we get hold of the board. Sometimes it's eBay, sometimes we'll have it in stock. There is a chance I've got this board up at the unit. I don't think I have. And I'm not going up the unit until tomorrow. So I'm just going to get this ordered tonight. It's 20 quid, for heaven's sake. It'll bring the customer's TV back to life. Well, at least we hope so. Hey, look, thanks very much for watching the diagnosis. When the board arrives, what day is it today? Is it really? It's Tuesday. You may see this video Tuesday night. It may not go up till Wednesday, but I would imagine the board will be here Friday or Saturday, something like that. But of course, I've got to get in contact with the customer first and just let them know how much it's going to be.